so that the percentage of men who are multi-orgasmic probably ranges between. The central question is, can it be learned? There might be tools to help with multiple orgasms. Is it possible for men to have several orgasms after each other, so-called multiple orgasms? There is orgasm on the one hand and ejaculation on the other. But although technically speaking these two are separate functions of the body, they are glued together in a physiologic concerto where there can't be one without the other. As soon as orgasm is reached and ejaculation occurs, there comes relaxation, and along with it, the erection ceases and the body enters into a state where it has to recharge for the next possible orgasm. This refractory period varies in length and is very much dependent upon the individual settings and the respective age. Because with advancing age, the time between erections and ejaculations, orgasms, becomes longer and longer. So what about multiple orgasms? In women, it is somewhat easier, as there is more scientific data showing that a small percentage is able to experience several orgasms in a row. But this is another video. In men, hardly anything is known. Despite the fact that there is an immense public interest for this topic, the scientific community shows little, if no interest for any research in this area. This means that there are a number of questions yet to be answered. First of all, what defines multiple orgasms in men? In analogy to what we know about female multiple orgasms, being able to sexually perform more than one time within a few hours will not be called a multiple orgasm. Within the sexual response cycle in multiple orgasms, there will be no resolution, but either a plateau phase interrupted by orgasms or some kind of increasing arousal interrupted by orgasms. If this is happening with simultaneous ejaculation or without remains to be defined. Maybe the most central question is, are there any men out there who are multi-orgasmic? Before I go into detail here, you're watching UroChannel. My name is Stefan Buntrock. I'm a urologist and sexologist. If you're interested in content like this, make sure to subscribe to my channel, hit the Euro like button and activate the bell so that you won't miss out on any new videos. There are still many things not known about human sexuality. Alfred Kinsey was the first to undertake large-scale studies on human sexual behavior, and that was back in the 40s and 50s. Even until today, for some areas of human sexuality, his work is cited. From his research, we know that some men are multi-orgasmic. A review of the available scientific literature in Sexual Medicine Reviews from 2016 reports a variable pattern in multi-orgasmic men. Multiple orgasms are not always accompanied by ejaculation or ejaculations, and when it occurred, there was a substantial variation among individuals. While some experience ejaculation each time, with diminishing semen volume each time, eventually resulting in dry orgasms, others experience only orgasms and ejaculate with the last or also in between, followed then by more orgasms. There is also a pattern by the name of condensed multi-orgasms, describing a burst of non-ejaculatory orgasms shortly after each other. So what properties do multi-orgasmic men display? A case study from 2002 with a multi-orgasmic 25-year-old male and 9 healthy volunteers with a mean age of 26 years was conducted. The research question was how prolactin plasma levels would change in orgasm. Prolactin is a hormone that is produced in a small gland in the brain. Upon orgasm, most men experience a surge in plasma prolactin levels that stay high for half an hour to an hour after the orgasm. This was indeed the case in the control group, but not in the 25-year-old man. In fact, his sexual appetite did not decrease, and he displayed a refractory period of 3 minutes on average before he could reach orgasm for the next time. He ejaculated every time. The conclusion may be drawn that prolactin plays an important role by initiating the post-ejaculatory refractory period associated downregulation of sexual desire and arousal, thus impeding multiple orgasms. So far for theory. Because we are talking about data from a very small sample size, that makes it very difficult to draw any general conclusions. I very much doubt that there will be large-scale studies on this simply because too few men are multi-orgasmic. To find them and motivate them to participate in a scientific trial will be very, very difficult, I would guess. How many men are we talking about? Apart from the Kinsey data, there are a handful of studies on this subject. The self-reported rates of multi-orgasmic capabilities matched quite remarkably between research, so that the percentage of men who are multi-orgasmic probably ranges between 3.3 and 7%. After age 30, it is less than 7%. The central question is, can it be learned? With ejaculation possibly being the problem because it seems to start the unwanted refractory period, it seems to be logical to practice to eliminate that part. Orgasm without ejaculation? There are instructions out there how to do it. I don't say that it is impossible to reach that goal by training, but it seems far more realistic to me to teach a stiff 60-year-old how to swing the golf club like Tiger Woods. Much is talked about internal ejaculations in the sense of ejaculating retrograde into the bladder. That won't make a difference to external ejaculation because the involved glands, the prostate and the seminal vesicles, have emptied their contents, which ideally should be prevented. There might be tools to help with multiple orgasms. In the mentioned article in Sexual Medicine Reviews, sex toys for prostatic and anal stimulation are named, as they might facilitate this task. Most interestingly, the removal of the prostate and prostate cancer might lead to enhanced orgasmic capabilities. However, this rarely occurs, as many patients experience a decline in orgasmic intensity. However, one of my former patients once reported to me a significant increase in orgasmic experience after radical prostatectomy. There are scientific reports that this happens in 1.2 to 9% of the cases. Additionally, multiple orgasms have been reported after radical prostatectomy. And this would be consistent with the assumption that ejaculation is responsible for initiating the refractory period. Because now that the prostate and seminal vesicles are no longer in place, they don't inhibit multiple orgasms. But as I said, this rarely occurs, and so far I have not had one patient who started to become multi-orgasmic after radical prostatectomy. There are other conditions as well that might possibly change orgasmic patterns. Let me know in the comment section whether you would like more information on this topic. Hit the Euro like button, subscribe to my channel, and see you soon in one of my videos. Bye bye.